Welcome to the Powell Bros Movie Reviews, brought to you by our supporters at Patreon. In case you have been under a rock, the world around us is in ruins. A nihilistic worldview permeates the film industry. Sodomites control the cultural narrative. Corporations run by sexual perverts and money launderers are constantly pumping out garbage content in order to entertain us. We here at the Powell Bros are over it. We want to give honest reviews of movies that expose the wicked and glorify the good. We want to find stories that have masculine male characters who slay dragons, and feminine female characters who need saving. We want stories and want to see creators who have an artistic prowess that shames and defeats our enemies. We are tired of the nihilistic moral ambiguity of modern-day entertainment. And we want stories that change people, that inspire people towards goodness, truth, and beauty. And most importantly, we want the entire entertainment industry to bow the knee to Jesus Christ, who is Lord of all. Yes, we are Christians, and we are unashamed of that. And if that bothers you, too bad. Now, if you do wish to support us in our mission, please head over to patreon.com/the Powell Bros, or follow the link in the show notes. There you will gain access to our exclusive show, the Powell Bros Mini Reviews, as well as early access to both movie chronicles and movie reviews. Now, on with the show. War epics and period pieces retelling stories of bravery and heroism during ages of chaos and unrest will always be timeless stories. The World War II drama has been done over and over again, many done well, some not too much. Stories retold or faithfully made up depicting the brave men who stood in the face of terror and gave their lives for those they love. So how about Saving Private Ryan? Considered to be one of the best World War II movies in recent history, a movie that won 5 Academy Awards with its star-studded cast. But is it as good as people say? Does it tell a good story of courage and virtue? Does it give us men who we can look up to and learn from? Well, stay tuned to find out. Welcome to the Powell Bros Movie Reviews, where we review movies. We're here another week, another movie for you all, and this is an exciting one. And I am one of your hosts, Trent Powell, joined by my other host, Tobiah. How you doing, Tobiah?
Doing good. Excited for this one.
Yes.
Quite a classic, for sure.
Yes. I think we consider it a classic.
Yeah.
And one of the best war movies of all time. And yeah, Tobiah, what are we reviewing? What did we watch?
This is Saving Private Ryan.
Yes. Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Starring a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's so many random actors that pop up throughout the film.
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious. But of course you got Tom Hanks. You got who are the more memorable ones? Oh well, yeah. I mean, obviously, Matt Damon as Private Ryan, and Bryan Cranston shows up. Vin Diesel shows up. There's a few others. Just a whole bunch of actors. It's fun. It's great. World War II. Tobiah, what were your initial thoughts of this film?
Yeah. I mean, this is a movie I've seen quite a few times. Yeah. I mean, I really like this movie. When I first watched this movie, I don't remember when it was. It was quite a while after it came out. I mean, it came out when I think the same year I was born. I think it was 97. I don't know. Anyway, it does not look like this movie was made in 1997. Like, if you look at other movies.
Really, 97? Yeah.
If you look at other movies, this movie does not look like it was made in the 90s. I mean, this looks like
That's
it
crazy.
could have been made in 2024. Like, honestly. The visual effects are just incredible.
Yes.
The story is just a great story. Yeah, I think it's loosely based off of a true story. Very loosely.
It's loosely based off like two stories that are similar, where some brothers die in combat, and one brother gets to go
Yeah.
home, and so forth. So
Yeah. So it's just it's kind of based on that idea that like that's what our government would do if they found that to be the case, and but yeah. So just the whole story is really good. Acting is incredible. This movie really keeps your attention the whole time. It's a long movie, but still keeps your attention. All the characters are just so well developed, and yeah, lots to unpack for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. What were your thoughts?
Man, I put this on my in my top 10 for a reason. I just love this film.
Yeah.
Very inspiring, very moving, but also just a good example of heroism, and kind of asking the question is what would you be willing to do for someone you don't even know? Would you risk your life in the midst of war? Would you risk your life in order to assure the return home, or assure that someone would be able to return home in the midst of war? It's like, you would want that to be done for you. Like, you would hope that that men would be willing to do that for you, but not everyone would. Like, to risk your life, to give your life for another, which is basically the story, and these men are reluctant to do it. Even our hero, Tom Hanks, he's reluctant throughout the film to do this. He's questioning, like, is this worth it? Should I really be doing this? Especially when they get halfway and like there's a moment where they're like, they've lost two men and he's kind of about to give up. But he keeps pressing forward, and you even have the moment where they think they find Private Ryan, but it's not him. And so they're having to deal with that. It's like, oh, we think we've completed our mission. Oh, we've not. Oh, great. Now we got to keep going. We got to keep risking our lives, keep risking the lives of my men. And, so asking the question, is that worth it? And so, man, I think it's great that they set that up. I think they set up that up very well. And you're asking that question throughout the films. Like, would I be willing to do this? What would I do in this state? And would I want that to be done to for me? And someone to be willing to do that for me, of course. And yeah, and then of course when he does get found, and how he responds, and just there's a lot of depth to this. I think that they do a great job at characterization throughout the film, and telling this story through different characters in different ways, and just how they deal with these situations, and deal with the reality of war, and the horrors of war, and the hardships that men have to face. One character it turns out to be a coward, and seeing how he is wrestling with these things, and then he does overcome it in some senses, but he chooses to be a coward. But at the same time, it's like, man, you have to ask yourself, like, what would I be that character? Like, which character am I in this? Am I the coward? Am I the one willing to lay down my life for another? Or am I the one that's going to stay back and just keep on fighting the war, and fighting, every man for himself in some senses? So yeah, that's just, man, a lot of great characters in this film.
Yeah,
good,
for sure.
Good story, a lot of hard questions, and then it's inspiring, and yeah, I love it. It's good. But we following Captain Miller is kind of our main protagonist, played by Tom Hanks, and there's a lot of mystery behind his character. We don't really know necessarily who he is, or where he came from. We just know he's a captain in World War II, fighting for America, and he has men that he's leading, and he is. We find out early on that there's three brothers have. I think it was three, right? Yeah, three men who are brothers have died in combat, and because of that, and then there's a fourth brother still out there, Private Ryan, and so they find out that this Private Ryan is now allowed to go home, to be with his moms, especially so that they don't have to send another folded up American flag to this mother who's lost 3 sons. So they need to find this Private Ryan. The problem is they don't know where he's at. For one, they don't have the as much access to communication or as much technology to communicate as we do today. Back then, and so they're not able to really find out where Private Ryan is. They know where he possibly could be, but they don't know. And so Captain Miller is tasked with this mission to go and find Private Ryan, and that's our story. And we're following him, and then he brings along these other men who, like I said, are reluctant. I really like Private. I don't know. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but it's Reben, played by Edward Burns. He's kind of the one that's really questioning, like, why are we doing this? Is this really worth it? This is stupid. I'm not why am I risking my life, but also the life of my brothers, for this one man so that he can go home? And so he's like really questioning it, and then seeing his character develop throughout the film is awesome, and he was well handled. You got Private Jackson, who's kind of their marksman, their sniper. We got Mike Horvath. I don't know what rank he has. And we got Vin Diesel's character, Private Caparzo, who he dies pretty early on, and Jeremy. Oh yeah, the Corporal Ufum. I can't remember how they pronounce it, but Ufa, played by Jeremy Davies, well known as Daniel
Faraday.
Faraday. Daniel Faraday in Lost. He's a very skittish, kind of keeps to himself, awkward, but also kind of a coward, throughout the film, and he's the one that. He's the one that turns out to be a coward, and then kind of he does overcome that sort of when he fires his gun for the first time in the film, and why he does that and so forth. But a lot of great characters, and we get of course, before this command this mission is given to Captain Miller, we get D-Day. So they're storming the beach of Normandy. This is considered to be one of the best depictions of D-Day ever. The beach assault. It's just incredibly well done. If you notice, there's no score in this whole scene. It is all just gunfires, explosions going off, bullets flying everywhere, and men screaming, yelling, crying, pressing on, fighting forward. Some, getting their arms blown off, going through some just horrific things. But like, and you're following Miller and his group as they're storming the beach. You kind of get to understand Tom Hanks' character. He has he goes through a lot of struggles in this scene as he's fighting to get up the beach. You see his hand. He has like a problem with his hand, or it's shaken. And anyways, this scene is just so well handled, so intense. You feel like you're with them on the beach. Once the boats hit the beach and the men fly out, and like their bullets going everywhere, men dying left and right, and you just kind of understand, like, man, how horrific that event was and that battle was. But also you see the heroism of these men that are willing to do this, knowing that it's very unlikely that they're going to survive, and that they're able to actually take the beach, but they of course do, but because these men don't give up, and these men fight on and press forward, and they take this beach, which is very crucial for the war, it needed to be done in order to get into France and so forth. So it's like, man, it was awesome. Yeah, great scene, intense. One of the best war scenes of all time. One of the best cinematic scenes.
For sure.
Right off at the beginning of the film.
Oh yeah. and I mean, it was like I don't know where they filmed that scene. I'm sure it was in Germany, and But I mean, they filmed, I think, all this movie on location. I don't know that they used any green screens really.
I doubt it.
And to think like if they made like that scene today, it would just look like complete crap because it would just be green screens. Like they wouldn't even attempt to do it practically.
Right.
Yeah.
It was in the beach was in Ireland.
Okay.
And they filmed a lot in England, and some more in Ireland, but mostly in England throughout the most of the film. So
Nice. Yeah.
the Omaha Beach scene was the most demanding to film. It cost $12 million and took over 4 weeks to film.
Crazy.
They used real explosions, hundreds of extras, and a lot of course, handheld cameras in order to create, because it was like kind of like a documentary style, had a documentary style feel to it as you're following these men, and you're not getting like big overhead shots, like you're getting shots on the beach as they're taking it, and
the camera was like a character the whole time, like you were in the group going up the beach with them. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a great, we really learn a lot of who all the characters are in that time too.
Totally.
It's really great.
Yeah, and you kind of start figuring out, okay, these are the characters that we're following in this film, and you don't like the one thing about this film that's really good is there are real stakes. Like there are real stakes involved, and they make that clear when one guy, Vin Diesel, he dies pretty early on, and and so like these men can die at any moment, and then we get the second death, which was gut wrenching, and you get and then you just know that there's real stakes involved here. These men can die, and we don't know who's going to die. We don't know who's going to make it out alive, if any are going to make it out alive. And they face a lot of struggles throughout the film and things that they need to overcome. And as they're facing these struggles, we see how these characters respond in various situations. And you get these, especially with Tom Hanks' character, you see him and everything that he's working through and how he's processing all this. And I think he has a really, really well done arc by the end. A good story that's told through him, and it's cool. It was good to see, but real stakes. I feel like a lot of movies these days miss that sometimes. It's like, especially when it comes to like prequels and spin-offs and all these things, like, oftentimes that this character is making it out alive. Especially if it's a prequel, like this person lives on in the next movie. Things like that. It's like you don't get movies like this as often, where there are real stakes involved, where there's real problems that our heroes have to overcome, and you don't know if they're going to make it out alive. You don't know if they're going to survive.
For sure.
So, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what any things related to character development that you recognize that you.
Well, yeah. So, like you had said, like with Tom Hanks's character, how he was like struggling with just the idea of like following this order and the stakes of this order. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I felt like he didn't show any like disregard to the mission or any like what's the word I'm looking for?
Reluctance.
Yeah, like any reluctancy toward doing the mission till maybe later, because I mean, I'm trying to think of how far into the movie this one scene is, but
the one where
it's like the first moment
shot.
where, yeah, I think so, yeah, and it's like
they capture the German, kind of
How far into the movie is that?
That's about halfway.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like up till then, he's very clear. Like, we got a mission, we're doing it. Like, no questions asked, really.
Right.
I think this is when he like talks about like, you know, we all have orders and we have to follow them. And you know, my mission is to do the missions I'm told to do so that I can get home one day. Like that's my goal.
Right. That's
Like
his
it's
goal. Exactly.
that's my goal is to get home. Like that's all I want to do. You know, he wants to get home to his family. That's his goal. And doing this dumb mission to save some kid so that he can go home, that's, you know,
might result in him being able to go home.
And that was why they went off and did, because they, where this guy died, like they went to do something to kind of off mission because they
it was
a little bad. It was like a what was it, like a it was like a trap for other guys.
It was set.
And they saw the trap and they could, you know, set off the trap and kill the bad guys. So like that's why they did that. But then one of their guys died through that. But the point was like, he's like, he asked the guys like, what are we trying to do? You know, they're like, we're trying to end the war. He's like, we're trying to go home. Like that's what we're trying to do, is we want to get home. Yeah. And if that means doing this, everything we do gets us closer to getting home, gets us closer to this war ending so we can go home. And yeah, I mean, it's really great. Like we really could see like his goal, his mission, and we really learned a lot about his character at that point. And because up to then he was very quiet, he wasn't saying anything about himself. Oh, and because there was a bet going on about what he did back home before the war. The guys were all betting about it, and he's like, "What's the bet up to now?" And he tells them, what he was. What was he do? What was his?
Oh, he's a school teacher.
School teacher. That's right. Yeah. And so yeah, like we learned a lot about him just in that scene, and up to then was very to himself and wasn't because he was just doing the mission, and we learned why he was doing the mission. He's like, because I want to get home to my family, and whatever mission I'm told to do, I'm going to do it because that's going to get us closer to this war ending so I can go home.
He showed a lot of masculine virtues here in that scene where he's showing that he's a leader and that he's a man of principle. He's going to do what's right. And, you know, he's been given a mission. He's going to accomplish that mission. And he's inspiring and encouraging his other men. He, of course, says, yeah, if you guys don't want to be here, don't, like, leave. But I'm here for a reason. This is why I'm here. And I'm going to finish this mission. I'm going to accomplish what I've set out to do, what I'm called to do, what my duty is in this moment, in this time. And especially as he's watching all his other men like fight and argue and wrestle with whether or not like, what's the point of this? Like, why are we doing this? We're risking our lives for some nameless random kid. Why should we do that? We should be off, you know, fighting for a greater cause, you know, to, you know, take out Hitler, kill Nazis, go out and do what we've been sent here to do, in fighting this war and helping the Allies. We could be off doing that, but instead we're tasked on this mission that we don't even know we're going to accomplish. We don't even know if this guy's alive, and we're risking our lives for this. And then he has that moment, and he really inspires his men, encourages them. It's like, hey, like, you know, you guys can leave, sure, but this is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. And they follow, you know, and because he's a man he's proven to be a man worth following, and he's proven that he can lead his men, and that he's worth following. So
yeah, for sure. Yep.
And that was really a turning point in the film, because literally the next scene, they find Mr. Private Ryan. They make the way to this bridge where they've been told that he might be at, and they get there, and after they're going across the field, they take out a tank, I think, and then they meet this platoon of men who are stuck in this kind of in this town kind of the outskirts of the town, surrounded by buildings, but also this bridge. And they explain to them that, hey, we have this bridge. We need to protect it. This is one of two bridges that the Nazis are able to use to get into whatever, I can't remember where, wherever they're at in France. This bridge, we need to guard this, but we're low on ammo, we're low on men, we are not capable in and of ourselves to do this. But kind of actually backing up in that they find Private Ryan. It's Matt Damon, played by Matt Damon. And they, of course, break the news to him. And like it was like kind of sudden because like you're not like, we're still, we still got like an hour left in this film, and we, the mission's accomplished, which in a sense, it's like, okay, well, that's not the point necessarily because it sets up, because all their characters have been brought to this point, and they meet Matt Damon's character, they meet Private Ryan, and they say, hey, your brothers have died in combat. You get to go home. We need to send you home to be with your mom, so she's not gonna get another folded up American flag. But Matt Damon, as he's processing all this, as he's wrestling through this, he decides, no, like I have a duty. I have a mission. I'm here to guard this bridge. That's what I've been commanded to do. I've not been commanded to go home. I mean, he technically has, but he's not directly, received that command to leave. And he's like, no, I need to stay here because my brothers, the brothers that I have left, he says, the brothers that I have left need me. And so he's saying, I'm not going anywhere. I need to defend this bridge. We're already short men. We're not going to lose another one. I'm staying here. And, yeah, like, I don't know, what do you think, kind of how that all transpired and how that worked? Like, any issues there? Anything that you
I mean, it was,
an issue with?
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, there's some conflict because, I mean, these guys lost two of their guys trying to get to him. He's like, no, you are going home, and two guys have died, so we can come get you. And then he was like respectful about it. He's like, hey, oh, I didn't know that. Like, what were their names? And he had no desire to leave because like he had a mission, and if his brothers are dead, if he like that was his family that he had left, and it was good.
Definitely. And so Captain Miller, he is, of course, trying to process all this and think through, okay, now what's my duty here? How do we move forward with this? And he, eventually decides, no, we're going to stay here and fight. Like if Private Ryan's willing to stay here and defend this bridge, if this bridge really is that crucial, he starts kind of thinking through the what might be needed and how this might be accomplished, and he realizes, okay, I think this is possible. Like we have the manpower to assist them and help them as they're working through this, and so they decide, like, hey, like, I think we need to stay here. I think we need to defend this bridge in order to get Ryan home. Like if this is how Ryan's going to go home.
Yeah, if this mission has to get completed so that he can go home, let's do it.
So that's what we're here to do, and it's what we're going to accomplish. And so they decide that, well, he decides that, I'm staying. Not, it's not going to make anyone else do it, but they, of course, all decide to stay. And, like, of course, I'd say the characters at the beginning of the film at this point would have said, no, we're getting out of here. We're done. We finished our mission. Let's go fight somewhere else.
Yeah. The whole scene before, like, with the point of the mission, like, Tom Hanks's character's, whole thing, like, where our mission is to go home, and, and we can sidetrack a little bit so that we can, get further towards ending this war. I mean, closer towards ending this war. And he's like, well, if we need to protect this bridge so that we can get closer to ending this war, let's do it. We're going to stay here with Ryan. We're not like abandoning him. We're going to protect him. And even in this time, like when they're planning, Private Ryan's like, where should I be? And Tom Hanks is like, you're going to be right next to me.
Yeah. More than 2 feet from me.
Yeah. So yeah. So it just kind of, it shows like there's nothing wrong with us staying because we need to end this war. Like let's fight this battle with these guys and let's get closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they decide to stay. They work on a plan in order to defend the bridge with the incoming men, or not German soldiers that are on their way. We need to defend this bridge, so here's how we're gonna do it. They make some sticky bombs and get some men posted in different places. You got the marksman up in the bell tower. You got the machine gun. You got everything set up and ready to defend the bridge. And then for the rest of the film, it's this is the third act, final act of the film. We found Ryan, but we're gonna now defend this bridge, do the right thing. And so we have all our characters who have gotten to this point and have worked through their issues and their problems, and now they're moving forward and fighting on. And you have this interaction between Matt Damon's character and Tom Hanks' character, where they're Matt Damon, Private Ryan, Matt Ryan. That's funny. That's why I said that. Matt Ryan's also a football quarterback. Anyways, sorry. Private Ryan, he's recalling a memory that he had of his brothers, and he's hysterically laughing at it and funny, but he's also crying, and you're just seeing how he's dealing with a lot of emotions and a lot of everything that he just went through, finding out about his brothers. And it's so interesting. I noticed is we've not followed this character up to this point, but we kind of feel like we know him at this point. We know him well. And now we're getting to kind of see his character unfold and see him process all these things, to where he's kind of like been in the shadows in a sense, and now he's come to light, and we see him now, and it's like we kind of know who he is, but not really. And I think they just did a good job at telling the story in such a way that like we care about this man, we care about this character, and we haven't even seen him the whole film, and now we get to follow him in this third act, and as he's alongside Tom Hanks' character, and you see them interact and them both working through everything, and then the Germans show up and they have to defend the bridge. And cinematography in this whole thing is just great action scenes, just a great battle, well handled, well produced, well filmed, well acted. It's intense. There's a lot of suspense. They go through a lot of struggles, a lot of hardships, and a lot of men die. And most of the men don't make it out alive from this, and that of course adds to the intensity of it, but also the emotion of the story. And like, it is moving because why these men are here, what led them here, and why they're fighting and what they're fighting for, and what they're willing to die for, which a lot of them do. So it's good. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot more to say about that. Like
right.
You have Daniel Faraday from Lost. His character, he's given an opportunity. He's the ammo guy. He's running around, he's providing everyone with ammo, so he's running back and forth, and like taking risks, like being bold, running, while he's getting shot at. But then you have one scene where he's he's breaking down his character. He's crying. He knows a lot of everyone's dying, everything's going wrong, and he sees that, and like he needs to step up in the moment, but he doesn't. He cowers. And then one of his buddies, one of the men we've been following, is upstairs in this room, and he's calling. He needs ammo. They're out of ammo. They're getting shot at, and then they get invaded by some Germans. And one guy comes in, and then they're tussling, fighting, and he starts getting he gets stabbed. And Daniel Faraday's character is given an opportunity to go rescue his friend. He has a gun. He has ammo, but he's never fired his gun at this point.
Yeah.
But he decides not to. He cowers and lets his friend die.
Yeah, and this character, like all the way up to that point, like he's very skittish and doesn't want to have any kind of conflict. Even when there was conflict, like he's thinking like these guys are mean. And there's one point where they had a German captured, and they're like, let's just kill him. And he's like, that's wrong. And
he's unarmed. He surrendered.
Yeah, he's unarmed. He surrendered, and he convinces them to let him go. And so Tom Hanks' character does let him go, but you just see like, and he's talked about like he's never shot a gun, and it's like very anti-conflict guy. And it's like when there is conflict and he needs to step in, he doesn't. Like the conflict where he has to use violence, like he has to use the top requirement to end this violence, and which is more violence, and he doesn't do it, and he cowers, and the guy dies because of it. So
right. And but then he kind of steps up, and he is given an opportunity actually to kill. So it's interesting. So, because at first you think like, okay, so is the guy that was in the room killing his buddy, was that the one that they let go? Well, no, it's not. It's actually a different actor. But later on, the one that you see the guy that they let go, who said he said, oh, F Hitler, I'm giving up. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to turn myself in. Just let me go. He actually is seen fighting, and is in, he's actually shooting, Daniel Faraday, his men. But he's given an opportunity to finally fire his gun, and he actually does. And he shoots the guy that they let go earlier. Yeah. Because you see like, it's kind of, dealing with a lot of the, this is how war is. Like he lied, and he didn't surrender, and like he let him go. He convinced everyone else to let him go, only so that he could go and kill his men, kill them, and shoot at him. So then Daniel Faraday's character decides, no, I'm gonna finish him, because because they actually surrender, and then he ends up shooting him. So that was interesting how they handled that. And then as things are, as they decide they need to blow up the bridge. At this point, they've been pushed back to the bridge. Now they're going to blow it up, and as they're about to, they're actually not able to. The guy. So the guy that they let go, he's the one that actually initially shoots Tom Hanks's character, Captain Miller, while he's on the bridge. Yeah,
that's right.
So Tom Hanks gets shot as he was gonna go detonate the bomb, because he wasn't able to.
And at this point, like, there's so much happening. Like everybody's stories are happening. The sniper guy, like, he's blown up at this point. Yep. Him and another guy were both up there. Like they both got blown up, and people are dying left and right. So they died. Then the guy that got stabbed, and but a lot of these guys, like, they're all dying, like all of them, and so like the stakes are just like so high, and
and we're kind of at one point where it's like, is this it for our heroes? Yeah. Like this could be it. Like they're losing.
Yeah. Dark Knight of Soul for sure.
But they're not giving up.
Yeah.
They're fighting on. They're pressing on. and at the at the last moment, at the final hour, the backup shows up. So planes come in and they start they take care of one of the tanks. Oh yeah, because Tom Hanks' character, he's shooting the tank. He kind of showing that because he's been shot, he's sitting there, he's dying, but he pulls out his pistol and he's just shooting the tank as the tank's coming over the bridge. Obviously, it's not going to do anything, but he's showing he's not giving up. They're telling from a storytelling standpoint, he's not going to give up. He's going to fight till his last breath.
Yeah.
So all he has left is his pistol, and so he's shooting the tank, and then he shoots, and then the tank blows up. And he's like, "What?" And the planes come overhead, and they're taking care of the other tanks and the rest of the Germans, and then the Germans surrender, and they've won. They won because they fought on. These men fought on. These men did not.
They
give
fought
up.
to the last breath. Like you really see that in Tom Hanks. Like I think he got shot a couple times, and I think so, yeah. I mean he's laying down and he's just. Like he can barely hold his arm up. And I'm pretty sure it's the hand that was always shaking too. He's got it held up. He's shooting. He's firing his pistol, and can barely hold his gun up. And he's using every last breath. And that's what every one of these guys did. Is they were using every last breath to fight and to try to win this war. And yeah, it was a really good example of just like what war was like and what a lot of those guys went through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we have this final interaction between Captain Miller and Private Ryan as the tank busters as he calls them are taking care of the tanks. He's walking through and seeing all the backup coming in, the men running in to make sure everyone's taken care of. He's standing there watching them run by, and he has like tears in his eyes, and he's realizing like, for one, I've made it, but also these men fought and died to help me and help my brothers and these men that I've been fighting with and that I've been guarding this bridge with, and not only that, but Captain Miller, he's given his life for me, and he's he doesn't know like is he gonna die or not, but he thinks like maybe
and dying. We have that last moment with the two of them where Miller tells him earn this, earn what we just gave you. Yes, because I mean, like we just gave you the ultimate gift to earn it. And then we have
for yours.
Yeah. And then we have transitions back to like the old man, right?
Yep.
At that point, yeah.
The old man that we didn't mention, but we met at the beginning of the film. Someone is, walking through the grave site of a bunch of men who have died in combat, and we of course don't know who it is. Like is it Tom Hanks' character or or is it Private Ryan? And of course we find out that it is Private Ryan
visiting Miller's grave. And he's there with his family.
So
kids, grandkids,
sorry, go ahead.
Big family. And he's crying over the grave of Miller and essentially saying like, I hope I've earned it. Like I hope I've lived a good life. I did my best. I hope I earned it. And
you see the generational fruit that has been produced by Miller and these other men giving their lives for Private Ryan. And he knows that. He feels that burden. He feels what this is what it looks like for someone to give their life for me so that I can live my life. And he knows he doesn't deserve it. He knows he did not deserve it. It was given to him. And so Miller says, earn it. And that was, of course, like Miller's final gift, final moments that, where in his as a character, where he's like, I've given my life, now go spend it and earn it, like live your life to the fullest, because and he does that. He says that with such he's satisfied, I guess. Like he knows what he's done to give his life, and he knows that it was worth it. It wasn't like, he's despairing then, like, oh, was it really worth it for me to die for this man? Like, no, it was worth it. I was willing to give my life for him, and he did. And then you see the generational fruit that was produced with his children and his grandchildren, his wife, and everything.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was awesome to see.
Yeah, really, really good movie. Really good. I mean, absolutely, like, perfect. I mean, perfect. A very great representation of the gospel, and a sacrificial story, and he was able to live his life because of the sacrifice, and yeah, no, it's all really good movie.
Yes. See the love of a brother willing to give his life for another. And it's just such a beautiful story. Great conclusion, great character development. It was a long movie, but it kept you engaged and kind of on the edge of your seat throughout the film, and it's just so fun. Man, I don't have much complaints about this movie.
No,
like,
no,
it's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like, I don't have much more to say. I
think that's it. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
How are we gonna rate this,
man?
Like, I think this is higher on my list than a lot of the movies I've put before it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah, and just like, even like with this movie, overall enjoyability, like, it's an enjoyable movie too. I think that's something we forget to talk about with our ratings, because I
mean, it's hard, like,
because like there's a lot of, like, it's a good story, it's a good movie, but sometimes they're not entertaining. That's word. They're not as entertaining, even though it's a good movie. But this is a very entertaining movie. A hard one, not one like I would watch every day or anything, but definitely a great movie. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you wanting to put it?
The thing is, like, is it a 9?
Oh, for
kind of
sure.
think it is.
Yeah,
like,
this is like
because I think I might have said this when we watched 1917. I think I had said after watching 1917, which was an incredible movie, I think Saving Private Ryan was too low on my list, and I like, as far as war movies, I think this is better than 1917.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
this is probably the closest you get to a perfect movie, in my opinion.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, is this going to take number 1 for this
I
season?
think so. I mean, I'm thinking 9.6. I mean,
9. Yeah, I think I was going to say 9.6 as well.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, this is a 9.6.
Yeah.
Is up there. Number 1. We have a new leader. We're like, what? How many movies are we into this season?
Well, we're over
halfway.
Over halfway, so this is 12, I think.
And this movie's taking the lead. Awesome. It's great.
Yeah, I think this is 12. Or no, this is 13, I think, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I mean, so, because, like, is this better than Shawshank Redemption? I think so. I love Shawshank Redemption, of course. It's now maybe my number 2 favorite movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just analyzing these films and just diving deeper.
Yeah.
I just have different opinion now, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
This is a 9.6.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess that's it. We have Prisoners next week. So look forward to that.
I'm excited to talk about that one.
Yeah, that is very good movie. I really like it. Yeah, lot to unpack in that one. That'll be fun. But yeah,
Definitely.
That's it for this one. Thank you guys for listening. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon, and we do mini reviews of other movies, and we have 2 movies on there. We have some short films now. We have a backlog of movie chronicles that are not released to the public, but we also have everything on there. Yeah, we have a lot of content on there, and we're constantly putting more stuff on there. So yeah, if you want to support us, head over there and subscribe. It's just $5, just a coffee a month. We greatly appreciate it, and that's how, as long as we have subscribers, we're able to do these. So we appreciate those who are subscribing, and anybody that wants to join, we appreciate that, and it helps us grow and helps us be able to do more and give more to you guys, and yeah. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to next week, and we'll see you then. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Adios. Bye-bye.